Hello, everyone, and welcome to Demystifying Gay Porn. My name is Ike Grande, and if you watch gay porn, I've definitely helped you get off. It is that special time of the month, and by that I mean it is another episode of Open Lines, where we take requests, we take messages from Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, wherever you contact me and tell me about your fetish or kink or anything in general that you want to talk about. So today's episode, we are talking to Jake, who has an underwear fetish. Jake, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing well. Thank you so much for taking the time out to talk to me. I appreciate it.
Thank you for having me.
No problem. So you reached out, I would say about 6 to 8 months ago at this point.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
Might have been weeks.
Okay.
I think it was this year. Sorry.
Really? Was it this year?
I don't know. Time goes by.
Yeah, I feel like I've constantly had to refresh the messages just because I'm like, oh, I know he's in here somewhere and I do want to talk to him. And then finally I was like, okay, let's do it. Let's do it this week. Let's do it now. Because I wanted you on this. I wanted you on this season. So you have the distinct pleasure of having an underwear fetish.
Yes.
Okay. Well, what does that mean?
So to me, it's seeing a guy in his underwear is a turn on for me because it has a bit of mystery of like what's underneath the fabric. Mm-hmm. And then if it's tight and you know that you're expecting like a good package to be underneath, it's very hot. And then there's also like, you can tell a lot about the guy depending on the type of underwear that he wears. I hope I'm being correct in this, but I feel like if a guy's like super confident, he's not just wearing like Fruit of the Looms or like Hanes or like the Walmart brand. Mm-hmm. He's wearing something that like he's taken time to pick out.
Oh, okay, interesting. So
if that makes sense.
Yeah, effort.
I hope you're not sitting in Fruit of the Loom right now.
No, I don't wear underwear.
Oh, okay.
I find it constricting. However, I do have underwear that I do enjoy wearing. But I usually, predominantly in the summer, I'm going commando at almost every chance that I get. But in the winter, I do wear underwear, or kind of like you, where I don't necessarily. I wouldn't say I have an underwear fetish, but I do enjoy wearing underwear for special occasions and stuff. Like to feel sexy, to feel good.
Definitely.
Yeah, but your fascination with it is not only to feel sexy. I mean, it is because you like guys who are confident enough to pick out their underwear, but you do find some guys that can wear Fruit of the Loom that are still sexy, right?
Yes, if they wear it well and they fill it out well, I guess.
Okay. Yeah.
But it's got to be like, it can't be like I've been wearing these for 4 years and they have holes everywhere. And
you want a fresh pair.
Yeah. Well, I guess a fresh pair or like a pair that doesn't look like it's been through a shredder.
Okay. All right. Well, yes, yeah. I would hope people would learn to let go of their underwear after a certain amount of.
Although I don't let go of any of mine. I think I'm over 400.
So you have over
pairs?
Okay, over 400 pairs of underwear.
Yes.
So you not only appreciate men wearing underwear, really nice underwear or underwear that makes them look really sexy, but you also like wearing underwear.
Yes. I'm definitely not a commando person.
You're not a commando person. However,
no.
However, but all your underwear don't look the same, right? You don't have 400 pair of the same underwear.
Oh no, I have like starting with like the basic briefs to boxer briefs to thongs to jock straps to like jock thong combinations to the jock brief to just the cup. Aussie Bum did a cut that was like just the cup, mm-hmm. which I find quite difficult to wear because it doesn't hold everything, if that makes any sense.
Okay.
But I do enjoy wearing them, and like certain pairs bring me certain, like, make me feel confident, or like you said, there's certain pairs that you wear that you wear to feel sexy and to impress people.
Yeah, well, more so to, when you're hanging out, you're chilling with when I chill with my boyfriend, I'm like, oh, look at this. I just bought a pair of underwear. And
Yes.
yeah, okay. Because I have the regular ones, the ones that I wear. Like I said, in the winter, I do enjoy wearing underwear. I enjoy wearing as much as I can in the winter, especially if it's cold. And underwear is definitely a necessity. But I do reserve a certain kind of underwear just to have, and yeah, just to fuck around in, couple jocks,
definitely.
So you said the cup doesn't really hold everything in. I'm assuming you are doing well in that area as well.
I've been told I'm doing well. I know I'm not. I shouldn't be doing porn, but I feel like I wouldn't be turned away.
You wouldn't be okay. So basically, you're saying you have porn star dick.
Let's not go that far, but I have enough. I have enough that people would tune in for.
Just enough to win. Okay, I get it. Okay, all right.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that's always good. Now, when you started collecting your underwear, well, let's go deeper than that. Let's go into when you realized that you started, when you liked underwear, when you started to understand, oh wow, like I really like this, I really like that, I like guys wearing this. When did that start?
So do you remember the Sears catalogs, like the Wish book?
Yes.
So that would get delivered every year at Christmas time, and the underwear section had like half a page of guys.
Mm-hmm.
So I quickly realized that Sears had a website. I think I was like maybe 12 at this point, maybe 13.
Mm-hmm.
So I started, I found the website and I just started like shuffling through images of male underwear, not realizing that I could find porn on the internet, because the internet, I think when I was 13, it was like 2005.
Okay.
So I feel like the internet was like, in my head, was like just for services and just for like email. There was no like, there might be porn here.
Oh, you sweet innocent boy.
Yes. So those JPEGs became like, I don't want to say porn for me at that age, but like I knew that things were clicking, that I was interested in what was on display in the screen.
Mm-hmm.
That, and like I always knew like bulges always intrigued me, because I always wanted to see what was underneath, and like how well someone filled out their pants and then how well they filled out their underwear.
Mm-hmm.
I also grew up in like a household. My dad was in the military, so we spent time in Europe. So I grew up in like a household that was very influenced by European culture. So like, I'm not saying we're all walking around naked, but like we're all raised to have confidence in our bodies, no matter what they look like. So it was very like, there'd be times like we grew up without air conditioning, so there'd be times where we were all just like watching TV in our underwear. So it was like a natural thing for me to just hang out in my underwear.
So you're comfortable and confident with just being in a pair of underwear in the summer.
Yeah.
Okay. You said you spent a lot of time in Europe, or just a good amount of time?
I was like super young at that age. So just like, I think the culture there were certain aspects that my parents were like, we should just raise our children with like confidence.
Okay.
And then when I was in grade 12, I did a exchange program in Berlin.
Mm-hmm.
And that just awakened me about like the culture over there is just so body positive and sex positive.
Mm-hmm.
So it was like, there's times where like I'd be like, I'm going to go hang out with all the Canadians, and I would just go to the gay district and walk around.
Mm-hmm.
And got into a lot of stores that I probably shouldn't have been in as someone who didn't speak the language.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
But I was 18 at the time, so everything was like pretty legal and legit. So, but there are certain pairs that I still have that I bought in Berlin.
How strong would you say? Okay, so owning your own underwear, owning 400 plus underwear, how do you go about picking them out? Do you set yourself to say, all right, well, anywhere I go, if I see hot underwear, I'm going to buy them?
Yes, but now that I have like 400 of them, I need to like a black thong is a black thong. Like I have, I think over 10 of them. So it's like, I don't need a black one. So I look for something different,
Okay.
or it's like a different cut, or it has like the anatomical ball, package in the front, pouch
the
in the front.
pouch.
Sorry,
Mhm.
not package. Yeah. Or like the cut on the back is different. And then sometimes I just buy them online and they're like complete flops, but I don't want to throw them out, so I keep them.
Oh, there's a lot of people out there at the Salvation Army or maybe somewhere that can absolutely use those underwear if you're not if you're not
I
going to wear
have
them.
purchased a few from secondhand stores as well.
Really? Is that something?
Yes.
Do you? Is there anything sexual to wearing someone else's secondhand underwear?
Oh yeah, there's something ridiculously sexual about wearing someone else's underwear.
Okay.
Not just their underwear, but like even like their clothes, or like do you know what silkies are? Silkies sounds weird.
So,
They're also called like ranger panties. They're like the silk shorts that people run in or military guys
yeah,
wear.
I'm actually wearing them right now.
Oh, awesome.
I'm going to go for a run after this, so I am wearing.
Oh, awesome.
Ironically, they're from Rogue Fitness,
Okay.
and they're called Ranger panties. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah. So it sounds weird to call them panties, but
Yeah, it does because they're amazing. They're very comfortable, and nothing gets in the way.
yeah.
Yeah.
And they're ridiculously comfortable. So I have purchased a couple pairs and may have taken a pair from a gym bench at one point, the locker room.
Oh, I see. Okay. Well, this is getting more interesting by the minute. I want to hear more about a couple things. First, I want to talk about okay, so growing up, high school, well, more so high school because I feel like we form relatively more in high school than anything. Being around friends, were you ever around friends in your underwear? I guess in like the locker rooms and stuff. And how was that for you?
I was bullied hard in elementary school, so I stopped taking gym as fast as I could in high school.
Okay.
Which sounds like I had like a pretty athletic out of school life, but in school I was like, I also didn't want to risk. I didn't have the best control over certain parts of my body at that point.
Yeah.
I didn't want to risk like popping a boner in the locker room, so I was like, I think I'm just going to take gym in grade 9 and then stop. But it was quite interesting to see what my classmates were wearing at the time. But I guess that would be the extent of being around my friends in my underwear.
Are you, do you identify as gay by?
100% gay.
Okay. 100% gay.
Yes.
What was, you said you were bullied in high school?
Yeah, and elementary school.
And elementary school.
Yeah.
At what point did you come out of the closet?
Senior, my prom.
Okay.
I brought a guy I was seeing, and half of them were too drunk to care, and the other half didn't really care. So I was like, why was I so afraid the entire time?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's bold. That's awesome.
Yeah, well, I live in a very small town, so it was, and I think we have a lot of churches per capita. So you're either like you go to church, or you're a redneck and you go hunting Sunday mornings. So I was just like, I'm just going to survive until college.
You didn't fit into either one.
No.
And what was college? What was your college experience like? I'm assuming you left your small town.
Yes, and went to the nearest big city.
Okay.
And experienced a lot of things. And going from like a small town to a big city, you have so much, like, I think that's where my collection really started to take off, because we didn't just have Walmart in the big city. We had like the bigger department stores that actually carried male thongs and jock straps and the brands that nobody's ever heard of where I'm
Mhm.
from. And so I think like my first 2 years of college, most of that college money that I got from the government was spent on underwear.
Underwear and books, right?
Yeah, underwear and books, of course.
What about so you're saying you went to these stores. Was online something that you did, or did you prefer doing it in person?
I preferred doing it in person, and then mainly because I didn't have like an established credit card yet, so I
Mhm.
couldn't really order things online. And it was before you could do the Visa debit card where you could just pay with your debit card online.
Mhm. Mhm.
So I would have ended up having to like ask a brother or a friend to put it on their Visa, and that would just be weird.
Speaking of siblings and friends,
Yes.
do they know, how many people know about your underwear fetish?
I have a couple friends. My siblings don't know.
Mhm.
Um, and my partner right now knows,
Okay.
which is it's kind of hard to hide from the person you're dressing up for.
Yeah, well, he knows and he gets it and he's into it.
Oh yeah,
Okay, well that's always
he's
good.
not he's not into it as much as I am, but he enjoys the benefits of having access to such a big collection.
Okay, and so I assume you guys are similar in size.
Yes,
Okay, well that always works.
yeah,
That always
that's
works for
one of the
sure.
benefits of being gay, I guess.
Yeah, no, I share my my partner's well, he's a medium, I'm a large, but I share his, we have the same size sneakers and shoes.
Oh,
So
okay,
that works. That's awesome. Although he has a sneaker fetish, so we're going through a lot of
I
space
was
when it
just trying
comes
to
to that
say
stuff. Yeah, I'm assuming you heard that episode.
yes.
Okay. Yeah, we have a lot of sneakers. Because I also kind of, and I'm going to ask about your partner as well. When in a relationship with somebody who has a certain taste for something, uh, because I want to be a good boyfriend, because I want to make sure that we have a very healthy healthy sex and health and being sex positive and stuff. I kind of want to make sure that I get into it too and I participate. So I buy sneakers that I know will look really hot for that. But in turn, I am underwear is a little easier to put away. Having a whole bunch of sneakers is not. So I'm kind of
Yes,
enabling this situation, but I enjoy
yeah.
it. But how? So your partner, does he buy underwear for him to wear for you?
He has, and he's
Okay.
also bought underwear for me to wear for him.
Oh, okay.
So I just got out of a 14-year long relationship with someone,
Wow. Okay.
and we were married, had the house, had the whole world, and that all came crashing down.
Jeez.
Um,
Okay.
and he was not into it,
Oh,
and
wow.
and it was like very like it would chip away at someone's ego if if you like if your boyfriend were to like sprawl out on the bed in his sneakers and you were just to walk past the room, you should compliment them. Even if you're not in the mood, you should just say like nice sneakers and like you look really hot today. I would get like, oh, when did you buy those? Or when did you spend money on that?
Mm.
Or I never like the compliment. So it's been like a complete 180 with my new partner.
So married for 14 years, married, had a house, all of it. But you knew, how soon into the relationship did you know that he was probably not into underwear as much as you were?
Probably say like a year or so.
Okay. And you didn't think that would be a problem?
No, because like he was fine to play along with it,
Mm-hmm.
but I think it just once it reached over 300, he was just like, this is getting to be too much.
Yeah. And the funny thing is you don't, like I said before with the sneakers, you really can't hide when something's bulk. I feel like underwear is not that bulky and you can put in drawers and you can put in,
Yeah,
yeah. So wow,
Like I have one dresser that fits everything.
Yeah,
It's a big dresser, but I have one.
Yeah, and it's your thing, you know.
Yeah.
That's crazy. That's I'm assuming now with your new partner, you understand how. And I don't say this by any means in a negative way or anything, but you understand the importance of having to have somebody who's very interested, not even very interested, but just has some kind of interest in what you like.
Yes. Like I think we were like 2 months in and we went shopping together and we like planned the trip so we could hit like the best underwear store in the city. And we didn't just like skim it. Like we stayed there for like, I think 40 minutes going through and picking out stuff for each other.
How does that make you
feel?
So
that's very different. Yeah. No, it was like, I think we were both, to push limits. I think we were both semi throughout the entire time.
That's awesome. That's absolutely awesome. Your past relationship, how is that? Has that mended well, or is it? Was it amicable?
Yeah, we both cheer each other. We both cheer each other on from afar.
Okay,
we're not good. Like having lunches together, but we're cheering each other on from afar.
Okay. Well, that's good. Yeah, that's always good. Wow, that's a lot. I'm sorry, I didn't realize that was going on, but I absolutely understand it. Telling people that you have an underwear fetish, right? Is that some people that have fetishes, and I'm going to relate it back, but some people that have fetishes always say that telling people that you have a fetish is almost like coming out of the closet again. Do you find that with liking underwear as much as you do?
I wouldn't say so, but I would also say that like there's certain aspects that like I'm always cautious if I'm going to wear a thong or a jock to work. I don't want to like bend over and it be completely exposed because I don't think society's, as much as I would like society to be as forward as possible, I don't think I think I'd still get some looks if here I am like working and I bend over and like I'm wearing a hot pink thong or something. Okay. I feel like my staff, like not my staff members, but my coworkers would be a little like, what's going on here?
Yeah, there's a party going on. It's in his pants. When you say hot pink thong, it's still men's underwear, right?
Yes. Okay. So that's like one, like I feel like within the underwear fetish community or kink community, there's different sections. If that makes any sense. Like there's some people who are into wearing women's underwear, which has never been for me, but all respect to them. I'm not here to shame that. But I do enjoy wearing cuts that throughout time traditionally could be seen as a woman's cut, if that makes sense.
Oh, okay. I understand.
But I also feel like in the 80s, male thongs were more of a...
skimpy. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like not you, but like society had like the bikini cuts that nobody has anymore that were like basically just strings and the pouch in the back were there.
Now, I assume you've reached out or have been a part of some kind of underwear community.
I do follow a lot of people on Instagram and Twitter. I'm not so much I don't belong to I wish we had a club. I'm sure there's a club.
Yeah, no, there's definitely forums and stuff. I was going to say if you are active or not, or do you participate by just viewing, or are you actively participating in underwear communities?
I feel like it's a personal goal for me to do now that I'm out of the last relationship, because the last relationship was slightly controlling and I don't think I would have been given the chance to join a community or take part or be active in a community, like you've suggested.
Well,
If that makes sense.
Well, how much of your time do you think you spend thinking about underwear?
I feel like I probably think about it 24 times a day. I wouldn't say like I'm spending hours a day, but like I belong to a couple email lists for like the underwear expert, underwear news briefs, Nasty Pig, which is a clothing brand, Fort Trough, a bunch of like those companies. So I'm always checking the emails, and then I'm always clicking the links. So I feel like I probably spend at least 2 hours a day.
Okay. And some of those underwear you mentioned are much more risque than I thought.
Yes.
Let's talk about those. Okay, so we have briefs, we have boxer briefs, we have boxers. Those are and the jock, of course, and,
Yes.
and the thong.
Yes.
What else is in your collection? Especially now knowing that Nasty Pig and what was it, Fort Trough are
Yes.
on your list.
So I have I think like the most wild pair is I have like a jock that doesn't have a pouch and it just has like a ring cut out of it.
Okay.
So you're really like you're basically going commando, but you are like your ass is being held by jock straps. And I think that's Screw Crew, which is a European brand.
Okay.
And then I have a couple singlets that I wear as well from Nasty Pig. Those ones are kind of hard to, like, they're a full commit if you want to wear that out in public, because if you're getting, like, if you have to go to the washroom, like, you're basically getting completely naked because they're like over the shoulder and everything.
They're like what wrestlers would wear.
Yes.
Okay.
But sometimes those are hot to wear, and like you and your partner know that you're wearing it, but the rest of the world doesn't. Or you like surprise them at like you're at not a family dinner, but like a friend's place for dinner, and like you flash them the top part of the singlet,
and he knows,
and they realize, yeah.
Wow. Okay. See, stuff like that. I want to know stuff like that. I want you now. You know the vaguest questions that I can ask, or the most basic questions, I feel like are good and gone. Like we've tackled those, and now little by little, I want to know a little more about stuff that I would not know regarding, like what you just said, for instance. Like you just said something about your partner not knowing that you're wearing them.
Yes.
So,
or like another example would be like we go to Planet Fitness all the time.
Mm-hmm.
So he'll be like, we work, I think it's called like you work in with someone. So you're switching on and off the machine. So when he's doing his lifts, I'll like flash him the band of my jock strap, so he knows that I'm wearing that instead of like wearing boxer briefs like everybody else does at the gym.
Huh. Okay. So
and then I usually get like a cute eye roll or like a lick of the lips or a funny comment afterwards.
So you guys are giving each other cues and clues.
Yes.
Is now with the underwear fetish and knowing that both of you are the only people that know that, does that lead into anything else like public play or just other stuff?
I feel like there's a hint of exhibitionism. Is that a word?
Exhibitionism.
That comes with like having an underwear fetish, because you're walking, or like I could be walking downtown in like a lime green thong or a lime green jockstrap that matches the harness that I have underneath my sweater, but the world doesn't know that I'm doing it, but it still feels like I'm in front of the world wearing something that is completely like really sexy to me, and sexy to, I assume, society. I hope to society. As for public play, like I've never experienced it, but I have thought about experiencing it.
Mm-hmm.
And that thought turns me on.
So
I think the excitement of like being out in public and someone may be seeing, or
you're the only one that knows.
yeah.
Okay, that's hot. Now, yeah, when I think about it, I know what you're saying. Huh. What about parties? Do you find yourself, have you gone to like underwear parties? And when you do, what
I
are they
wish.
like? Oh, you have not gone yet.
No, like my small town is like you're either wearing camo boxers from Walmart or you're in tidy whities and going to church. Like it's
But in traveling, like, you know, when you go to the big city very close to where you went to college, let's say, would that be
a thing that I would want to do. Oh yeah,
yeah, okay.
yeah.
Wow, I can only imagine what that experience would be like.
Like seeing the ads on Instagram for like the jockstrap parties or the leather parties and stuff like that. I would like if I lived in those cities, I'd be at those parties all the time.
Leather as well?
Yes, but more in the like super masculine leather, if that makes sense. Like I feel like leather to me is not like it's not connected to the, I don't know how to properly identify the community, but like the pain community,
Not
leathers.
BDSM.
Yes.
Okay.
It's more connected to like this guy is like so masculine and so like I'm into like the leather daddy, not the dom leather.
Okay.
If that makes sense.
Yeah. No, I'm picking up what you're laying down here. What is it like watching? Because everyone wears underwear, and a lot of times you are fortunate. You have one of those fetishes where you're fortunate enough to see a lot of it everywhere.
Yes.
Right? To mainstream television, movies. What's that like?
Yeah. So like when I see someone in person in the gym and then I don't follow them to the change room, but like if it happens that we're both getting out of the gym at the same time, sometimes I like to like guess what they're wearing underneath.
Mm-hmm.
Most of the time I'm wrong, which is sad, but it's still nice to picture. And then movies and television, like I feel like most people, like the Calvin Klein, where they get the celebrities to do the Calvin Klein or the Lacoste branded ads.
Mm-hmm.
I'm always like super disappointed by them because it's just not like the Marky Mark one from the early 90s.
Yeah.
That one was really hot. And then when Nick Jonas redid it, that was also very hot.
Mm-hmm.
Because I feel like those were like overtly masculine and sexualized instead of like, I'm just trying to lay on the bed.
I see. So,
or like stand in a hallway.
So Justin Bieber did nothing for you.
Oh no.
You like
nothing at all.
Marky Mark. Did Sean? I think Shawn Mendes did one.
Yes, I think so too.
Yeah. Okay.
Like, go ahead.
I was gonna say, what kind of guys do you like seeing in underwear? Other than, you know, I know that you like them to fill everything out, but what kind of guys do you like seeing in these underwear?
Hard to describe. I would say like Alex Tika is really hot.
Okay.
Did you direct the birthday gangbang? Was that you?
No.
With Alex Mason? Because that was a Raw Fuck Club.
I don't think so. I think that was that a couple years back?
I think so.
Yeah, I think that may have been Nick Moretti.
Okay, I was trying to say all those guys.
Okay.
So like I'm not trying to say buff guys, but like guys that have some sort of muscle.
Okay. Some muscle, some hair,
a lot of hair.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Some city miles, because some of the guys are like in their late 30s, early 40s.
Yeah, I'm like a 40 and up kind of guy.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
How old are you?
I'm 32.
Okay.
And the guy that I'm seeing currently is about to turn 50.
So you're 32. He just turned 50. That's a good age difference. What would you call your relationship if you had to? I'm not saying you have to, but if somebody were to ask, oh wow, like where does that fall on the spectrum of gay?
There's definitely a daddy aspect to it.
Okay.
But I've always like felt uncomfortable about that because not overly uncomfortable, but uncomfortable because there's like the stigma of like daddy and son, and that like to me in my head it's like never.
Yeah, that's not what you're in it for.
No, I'm in it to be with someone who's older than me. I'm not in it to watch someone older go after someone who's super young.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's never been a thing for me.
Okay.
But growing up, I would constantly search out older gay guys online.
Okay. Hot. Those are the guys you want to see in underwear. That's hot.
Yes.
And when you were younger, were those guys also older when you were looking at those magazines?
I feel like the age hasn't changed since I was younger. Like it's always been like, even at like 17, I was like, give me someone who's like 45 to 59.
Okay. Was that no?
Although I shouldn't say 59 because like 60-year-olds are pretty hot too.
Yeah, no, honestly, the older I get to, the more you start to think about, I remember being in my 20s and being like, oh, yuck, I can't be with somebody who's 60 or 70, which, kind of makes sense. I think there's definitely something to be said about how much you can have a conversation with somebody at that big of an age gap. However, as you get older, I start to think as a 42-year-old, if I'm talking to a 20-year-old or I have a lot more in common with a 60-year-old than I do with a 20-year-old.
Yes, you're right.
A lot of times. So I get what you're saying.
I've also been told I'm like an old soul. So I like, if you look in my CD player in my car, it's got Prince's greatest hits in it. Like it's not
today's.
Don't get me wrong. I'm a Nicki Minaj fan, but Prince does it way better.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah, there's something to be said about that generation of music and celebrity, for sure.
Yeah. Can I ask you a question?
Yeah, of course. You're more than welcome to.
So when models come on set, do you have to, how do I say this? How do you decide what underwear the models wear if they are wearing it?
Models usually come with their underwear. Sometimes they come with, they're wearing their underwear, or sometimes they come with a choice or a variety of underwear and they say, what kind of underwear should I wear? And I am absolutely guilty of saying, you don't have to wear underwear. You're not going to be in clothes that long anyway. Depending on the situation though. And as I've gotten older, or as I've gotten more seasoned in shooting porn, I basically just tell them to wear what they feel sexy in. And when they come wearing that, that's amazing. And then, if they're wearing it, that's how they feel good. And I think that resonates in scenes. With Treasure Island, I think the sooner they get out of clothes, the better, because that's just how they are. They want sex almost immediately. They're almost like, fuck the kissing, fuck the blowjobs. Let's just get right into the sex. And I get it. That's the brand. And also, branding is a big thing too. If they're wearing something that says Fort Trough or Nasty Pig on it, chances are I'm going to have to ask them to take it off because of branding. Sponsorship and stuff. Like, we're not getting sponsored to show off their stuff. So, my boss will tell me, next time, make sure they don't wear that kind of underwear. So, so for a majority of the times that I'm shooting, yes, the models will bring their own underwear. It's very rare. Like, if I have something thought out, and unfortunately I have not been in that situation where I've been able to think ahead far enough for me to say, ooh, you're going to wear this, you're going to wear that. Like, I haven't done a production like that in a minute. So when those happen, I am more involved in what the models are wearing.
Okay. I always wondered how that happened.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it might be different for other people. It might be different for other studios, I think. but for the studios that I've worked with, I think we're just wow. Even in the 2010s, just working through and getting to, I'm just happy that the models showed up and that they're hard. That's my biggest thing. Is I want to make sure that the scene goes well, and everybody's there, and everyone's gonna be. They're gonna do their performance. They're gonna get paid, and they go home. And you get a good scene out of it. But yeah, no. As I continue to do it, and now more so, the more I find out that people are into certain things, the more I kind of try to introduce them or include them in the scene. So it's all about inclusion at this point.
Yeah. Because like the videos, I love watching like the bottoms in a jock for like almost the entire time, and then like maybe the last like 3 to 10 minutes, like it's off, and it's because the top is like pretty much done and the bottom's about to take over the scene.
Okay. I'll tell you this.
If that makes sense.
No, yeah. I'll tell you from my experience, I enjoy when the bottom is wearing a jock. The one part, for technical reasons, sometimes the jock gets in the way of penetration. And whenever it comes off, it's because I'm not getting a full-on penetration shot. And that's amazing for sex, but not for porn. Especially if that's what you're trying to sell, it's not going to be amazing for that. So no, I am with you there. And if I can find a better way to angle it, that you none of the penetration is missed by having the thong, they can wear it the whole time. I've had models that absolutely know what they're doing, and they'll move it to the side and stuff. But again, I think in the beginning, if you watch some of the stuff that I did, some of the shots definitely get obstructed by underwear. To the point where later on you'll see that I'm kind of like, okay, take that shit off now, because I need this shit. So yeah, but yeah, for the most part, I do enjoy when they start off wearing jock straps. Jock straps and socks. Apparently, that's a big thing now. And sometimes they color.
See, I'm not a big socks person.
They color combine, or they combine them with colors and stuff. So you're not a big sock person, okay?
No.
Well,
sorry.
I mean, don't be sorry. You have your thing. Everyone's got their something, and your something is underwear. With underwear, what do you want to do? What do you want to see yourself? Will you actively participate in a community? Are you going to go to one of these parties? What's the next step for you? What's the next step for you in kind of realizing a little more of what you like? The first step, I would say, is the biggest one, which is, hey, this is what I like and this is what I'm going to do. And that's just it. But where do you go from here?
I feel like a good goal is to go to one of the parties and experience them. Because I'm not that far away from the big cities. But I feel like my collection has reached a point where like it would take me, like I've recently started getting into like vintage stuff. Mm-hmm. Not so much like used and abused stuff, but like things that other people have owned or are from like an earlier date, just because I feel like those are really interesting to have.
Like vintage underwear?
Yeah, not like Victorian era, but like 80s and early 90s stuff. Yeah.
Not those
just because that era.
The beefcake underwear from the 50s.
No, not those.
Not that far. Okay.
No. And to me, like we did discuss like having someone else's underwear, and it's got like a weird energy to me, if that makes any sense, to be wearing someone else's underwear. Like it, to me, like 100% clean. Like I don't want to slip into someone's dirty underwear, but and no issue to someone who wants to do that. But to me, it's like I'm wearing someone else's like big dick energy, if that makes sense.
No, absolutely. I absolutely. What about this? What about not necessarily dirty, but like, let's say you see somebody at the gym and it's late. It's just you and him, maybe a couple of other people, but what are the chances of them walking in? And this guy
Yeah.
is about to take a shower, but he leaves his locker door open, and he leaves his underwear in there. And you can tell that you're the same frame or the same build. And you hear him go into the shower. You know he's not going to be out of the shower for about a good 5 to 10 minutes. What would stop you from venturing over to his locker, taking off your underwear and putting his on?
Nothing.
So that's something that you would absolutely do?
Yes.
Okay.
That's something I have done.
Okay. Oh, you have done. All right.
Yes.
What about, okay, so the underwear fetish, is it only wearing it, or let's say in that situation too, this guy's really hot and you like the fact that you can wear his underwear. Do you also like the way they smell? Like, will you smell the front of his underwear?
I feel like it's, to me, there's a 50-50 chance of like it either smelling really good, like it's got like a good musk smell to it, or it's got like a ripe smell that nobody wants to smell.
Okay. Well,
Because I feel like everybody's like sweat smells different, and there's like, I feel like everybody's attracted to a certain type of sweat smell.
Okay.
I think, like sometimes people sweat and they smell like last week's bologna sandwich for lunch.
Crotch rot.
But then sometimes people smell and like they have like the perfect scent, and it's like pheromones.
Yeah.
It's better than poppers.
Okay. So you have in your when you're having sex or before you're having sex, is part of the foreplay wearing the underwear and then eventually taking it off?
Yes.
Okay. And
I paused for a second because most of the time I'm the bottom in the situation because that's who I am.
Okay.
I usually keep a jockstrap on the entire time.
But when you're taking your partner's underwear off, you are.
Yes.
Is your face in his crotch? Are you smelling that underwear before you take it off?
Yes.
Okay. All right. So this is not.
Am I using my teeth? Yes.
Okay. So you're using your teeth to rip it off.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So
and like if we're in the dark and I'm feeling what he has on, I'm in my head, I'm trying to guess which pair and which color and which brand he has on.
How do you do that? Do you close your eyes and just imagine it?
Yeah, like if we're in the dark, I can't see it.
Okay.
I've also like hugged him in public and like ran my finger along the inside of his belt loop, I guess, like the waist of his pants, and tried to figure it out just by touching the waistband.
Huh. Okay.
It's just like, it's a fun game to be like, it's between these three pairs, and then you slowly narrow it down.
Okay, so you
and then sometimes
you
he'll
have
give me
fun with
hints
it.
of what it is. Yeah.
Wow. Okay. Wow. There's, this is, I just did an episode not too long ago about, it's not up yet, but it's about nipples and nipple play. And as I said to him, I'm saying to you, this is an opener. I'm very aware of underwear fetishes. I am. However, having a conversation about it is not something that I have had over the podcast, first and foremost, but also for about 15 minutes with somebody who is into underwear. So it's very enlightening. And it's very helpful. And it also won't be the last time. Is there anything that you would like to add that people don't know about somebody who would have an underwear fetish? For those people who think underwear fetish people are going to go sorting through their underwear while they're not paying attention. Because there are people that will think that, yeah.
Yes. I feel like that whole situation that you played out for me was like, it's like the ideal situation, but at the same time, you got to have like the right amount of courage and the right amount of everything to do that. Like it doesn't happen that often. I think I only have like 3 or 4 pairs that have belonged to complete strangers like that.
So you've walked away with somebody's underwear?
Oh yeah.
Okay. Yeah. special underwear, or just
Some,
like that they're replaceable?
oh, I would never take, like, if I knew that this pair was like worth a lot of money and like it was not oftenly found in Canada, or like there's certain pairs that like I know the brand and I know that like they're $50 a pair, and I would never steal that from someone, because that's like, that's a lot of money to just walk out the door.
Yeah, that's
But like if they're like the silkies that I have taken, or like they're a dime a dozen.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So I'm sorry I interrupted.
I try to be fair.
But yeah, just in continuation, something that you would like to let people know about people in the underwear fetish community, people who love underwear, people who appreciate underwear.
I'd say give them a chance. Like if you're in a relationship with someone and you just are finding out that they have an underwear fetish, like it's not the worst thing to look at someone in a sexy pair of underwear and enjoy it. If that makes any sense.
Absolutely. And I appreciate you saying that because of your experience, and I absolutely appreciate that. Whoa.
And I've heard of other experiences where it's like it's ended relationships right off the bat.
For underwear?
And like because they just don't understand why why a guy would want to walk around in a thong or a jockstrap. And to me, it's like, well, you're wearing, like, it's not I don't think it's like a do or die thing to live with someone who likes to wear thongs to a 9-to-5 job.
Yeah, no, there are worse things. And you're going to work. You're bringing home the bacon too. I mean, come on, you can't fault somebody for wanting to be happy at a job, And if wearing a thong makes you happy, then there you go.
Yeah.
Oof. I have to. Okay, so first and foremost, thank you very much for giving these listeners, giving me an hour of your time. I know that you just got off of work. You're probably tired, but you're not tired about talking about underwear. You're not tired of talking about underwear. So I appreciate that. Jake, once again, thank you so much. I hope that this reaches other people who are into underwear fetishes. And if it does, would you be willing to talk to people if they have questions? Because a lot of times when I do these episodes, I do get questions, and they might want to toss stuff back and forth. Are you comfortable with that or no?
Sure.
Yeah. It's, and I could always act as the intermediate, but sometimes I do get questions.
Definitely.
Okay.
I mean, if you're just trying to give out an email, then sure, why not?
Yeah, well, I mean,
like to people who contact you.
Yeah, and of course, before that, I would tell you, hey, look, this person's a part of this community, for instance, and they're willing to invite you. They'd love to have you on, or something like that. I'll reach out to you if and when that does happen. But again, Jake, thank you so much. I just really quickly, before I let everybody go, I want to let you know that this is Demystifying Gay Porn. You've listened to another episode of Open Lines. This is the underwear fetish episode. You can find Demystifying Gay Porn on every single podcast directory. We're also on YouTube and all over social media, on TikTok, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, the gram. So wherever you do find us, please help by clicking the like and subscribe button and comment. You can always reach me via questions on email or any of these locations that I've just mentioned. So once again, my name is Ike Grande, and if you watch gay porn, I've definitely helped you get off. Cheers.